Hello YouTube, Garage Gym community, CrossFit Dad here. Haven't done a video in a long time. This video is gonna kind of explain why that is. You used to see me do videos of garage gym equipment reviews, cold plunges, some workouts, all stuff like that. This is gonna be different. This video is about my hip resurfacing journey because it's not normal, hasn't been easy. So I hope this is of value to some people. For me, this starts back late teens, doing martial arts. I never felt like I didn't have the splits like everybody else did, right? I felt like I could stretch further, but I had nowhere for my legs to go. Didn't worry about it, could still kick in the head, still had fun. Still played soccer and hockey, arm wrestling, golf. Later got into CrossFit. Love CrossFit, love fitness. CrossFit, there's a lot of squatting, but I struggle with squatting. I felt like my hips just I couldn't go as deep as I needed to go. Stretched and it got better, but it still wasn't normal. So I was actually in this gym in 2022. Fast forward to 2022. I was right here doing some accessory work, doing some split jerks right off the rack. Start working my way up in weights to a 1 rep max for the day. Get 225, 235 for the day, 1 rep max. Go to do my split jerk, and as I'm gonna lock out, I'm gonna land my back leg to receive the weight, my leg folds. There's nothing there, no support, and the barbell drops right in front of my face. It was close, like it freaked me out. I was like, oh man, no big deal, right? Like, happens to everybody, just a bad day. 2 weeks later, I repeated the same workout. And I did the same thing. Worked my way up, 225, 235. A weight I'd hit probably half a dozen times. No problem. Go to land it, my hip gives out, bar comes crashing down. Something's wrong. Something's really wrong here. So I talked to a couple of buddies, and like, you should call a physiotherapist. Got hold of a physiotherapist, came here, did some tests, and he's like, man, there's something wrong. Get an x-ray and we'll talk. All right. Get my x-ray, get my hips x-rayed. And as I'm leaving, the lady's like, were you a pro athlete or car accident? I'm like, no. It's a weird question. I'm like, why? She's like, oh, don't worry about it. Your doctor will tell you all about it. I'm like, okay. I'm healthy, right? When I get to my doctor and he goes to read me the results as he's reading them for the first time, he's looking at the paper, and he's looking at me, and he's looking at the paper, and he's looking at me, and he's like, I don't know, this doesn't make any sense to me. He says, you have severe osteoarthritis to the right hip and moderate in your left hip. What does that mean? He's like, you're going to have to get a hip surgery. I'm 42 years old. I'm in great shape. I could run a 6.5 minute mile and deadlift 400 pounds. I don't need a surgery. It's for old people. So I just kind of pushed this out of my brain for a bit. Just put it on the back bench. And did some research. I'm like, man, I don't really want to get a hip replacement. And then I ran into a buddy of mine who played pro sports. And he's like, man, you should look into hip resurfacing. A lot of guys in the NHL are doing it. Professional tennis players doing it. A return to full, competitive stuff again. Like, all right. So I looked into it. And I spent dozens of hours looking into it. Now, total hip replacement. Here's your femur. They cut your femur. They put in a stem with a ball into a refinished socket. Off you go. Hip resurfacing. Here's your femur. They take what looks like a hole saw, buzz the ball down to a stem, drill a hole in the stem, pound in a ball and a spike. But the ball on a hip resurfacing ball is significantly bigger than the ball on a total hip replacement ball. You can get back to more competitive sports, lifting, running, martial arts, all these things again. And you still have the bone if you have to get another hip replacement. So after hours of research and looking into videos online and stuff, I became 100% convinced that this is my best possibility for my best outcome to return to an active, healthy lifestyle. So I started looking into that a little bit here and there, nothing major. But in 2023, things took a steeper dive fitness-wise. started having more pain, less mobility. And the physiotherapist was like, you should consider some injections. Maybe they'll kind of get you through for a while before you need a surgery. So I did cortisone and hyaluronic acid, which really helped. However, the naturopath said to me, he said, you can use this as a green light to do all the things that you want to do, or you can use this to get you to the point where you finally get a surgery. He's like, if I was you, I wouldn't run or squat with weight. So spring of 2023 is the last time I ran or squatted with weight. In doing this, I started to kind of slowly look like, well, where does hip replacements? Well, BC doesn't do them. The province I live in hasn't done them for 10 or 15 years. Some other provinces do them, or you can get them done privately for 25 or 30 grand. But I couldn't afford to risk my family's financial future to get a private surgery. So again, I kind of postponed it for a bit. But then in 2024, I started noticing even more pain. And I'd wake up with 2 400 milligram Advil, 2 500 milligram Tylenol with breakfast. Use my massage gun just to get in here. Repeat again in the afternoon and then in the evening again if needed, just to function. So I could try and maintain fitness somehow, because my decline was becoming so steep. Every 6 months, I'd notice a huge drop in mobility, increase in pain. I had to take more painkillers. Like, man, I got to do something about this. Like, this is not good, because injections weren't lasting as long. Initially, it was like 6 months. That was good. Then it was like 4 months. It was like 3 months they would last. So in fall of 2024, I started talking with my doctor. We got to get surgery going. So we sent out some referrals, and we sent a referral to Ontario for hip resurfacing. I found that hospital on Surface Hippie, a website that tells you almost every orthopedic surgeon that does hip resurfacings and how many they do. It's a fantastic resource. And I'm like, after all the research, I knew hip resurfacing, and I still believe to this day, was my best possible way to get the best outcome for me. So we sent out that referral in the fall of 2024. We also sent out a referral, a backup for total hip replacement in BC. Both places said you're going to be anywhere from 12 to 24 months. And that's a fall 2024. Fast forward into the winter, January, February 2025, pain was always there, increasing. I couldn't hardly row sometimes. The injections were lasting 2 months. Tons of Advil, Tylenol, Celebrex, massage gun, and hot tub, nothing working. Like, the pain, I couldn't sleep. It was terrible. I couldn't hardly do anything. Rowing hurt. The echo bike hurt. You know, I was down to like push-ups and ab mats, sit-ups and pull-ups sometimes. Like, it's just my body couldn't do anything. So I started looking again, and I found another possibility of a place I could do it, and that fell through. I was starting to lose hope. I was in so much pain. I couldn't do things. My fitness is slipping. I'm 44 years old, and I move like I'm 80. So I sent an email to this Ontario hospital. I'm like, hey, where am I in the queue? I need to know. I run a dozer for a living. I don't know how much time I got left on that. I didn't say this in the email, but that's what I'm thinking. Will I be walking next year? I don't think I would be. I certainly wouldn't be working out running a dozer. So what am I going to do? How do I feed my family? So I sent out an email asking, where am I in the queue? Expecting to hear like 12 to 18 months, right? She said, well, I'm kind of busy right now, but how would you like June 2nd? June 2nd of this year? I truly believe that God made that happen, because I was still expected 12 to 18 months in both places. And there was an opening for me for June 2nd. In May, right before I left for my surgery, I got an email for a consultation for BC, for hip surgery. And it was another 12 months after that, 8 to 12 months after that expected. And the consultation wasn't for another 3. So I was like 15 to 18 months in BC. But Ontario had a spot for me that worked with patients from other provinces that couldn't get the surgery they need. And they would do it through that province's medical system. So my surgery was paid for by BC Medical, done in Ontario. Cancel me and my wife's trip that we had planned. First time away in 6 years. Get the surgery done. Work things out with work. And then me and my dad head across country. Get there a couple days early, set up the VRBO, figure out where the hospital is, go to the Parliament, take some pictures, have a father-son time. It was awesome. June 2nd. Go in for surgery. I got to have the exact surgery I wanted. Ceramic on ceramic, hip resurfacing with the anterior approach. From who I think is probably the best orthopedic surgeon in the country, one of the top in North America, which is really saying something. So June 2nd, get my surgery. Get out of surgery a little afternoon, 12:30. Walk out on 2 crutches at 5:30 that night. Head to VRVO. Hang out for a couple days. And you know what? I had no incision pain, no joint pain, but I had wild nerve pain. Femoral nerve pain is one of the risks from the anterior approach. I'd still do it again, 100%. But as was recommended, to stay there for 4 days before flying back for swelling and pressure and all that kind of stuff. So June 6th, 4 days after the surgery, me and Dad get ready to fly back home cross country. 1.5-hour drive, ice pack on my leg, keep the swelling down. The flight, 4 hours, first 2.5 I slept, no big deal. Last 1.5 was pretty uncomfortable. And then after that, we had what ended up being a 4.5-hour drive. Ice pack on my leg again, just to manage it, right? And 12.5-hour travel day. But I got home. I'm good. It's where I need to be. I got the surgery. Everything went good. Like, man, like x-rays the implant. It's right where it needs to be. We're good. You know, I get home, my wife and daughters taking care of me. Life is good, you know? Still a lot of nerve pain, like heavy, intense, like make you stop speaking, make you start sweating, almost puke nerve pain. Well, that starts to die down, and I got the staples out on day 11, and the incision was totally sealed up, totally healed. Looked great. It was amazing. Did some exercise a week later in the gym here, just dumbbell stuff, no load to the hip, just shoulder press, arm curls, bench press, stuff that I was told I could do. Worked on some posture. No big, and feeling good. Get back in the gym, feeling good. You know, my legs, I'm back. I'm on 1 crutch at this point, just 1 crutch. Feeling strong, posture is good. Day 23. It's my daughter's last night at Taekwondo for the season that I've been teaching all year. All the kids have been teaching, all the parents. Big thing, a couple hours, so I'm going to put my ice pack on that I've been using, refreezable ice pack, before I go, so I can sit for a couple hours. I take it off, get ready to have a shower. This is 14 days after staples being out, or 11 days or 12 days or whatever. After half an hour of cold, it was swollen and red and blue, and I was in some pain. Hadn't looked like that, actually, ever since I got home. My wife looked at it. She's like, you should go to the hospital. So we chat GPT'd it. Says, man, you might have a blood clot. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go to the hospital. Go to the hospital. Missed my daughter's last night. Taekwondo. X-rays, blood tests. They're like, hey, man, looks good. Everything's good. Come back in the morning for a CT scan just to make sure, because there's a lot of swelling there. Okay. Come back the next morning, and I'm pretty cold. Really cold. Come back, get the CT scan. They're like, hey, man, everything looks good. Swelling is outside the joint. No big deal. Here's some muscle relaxers, because maybe the hip flexor, when they move it out of the way, it gets real tight because they got to create some. They got to move your muscles around. Like there's some pain there. Create some nerve pain. Legs tight. Like, a couple days of ice, and you should be good. Now I got home that afternoon, and I sat on the couch, and I was in increasing amounts of pain, but I was cold. Like I had sweatpants, a t-shirt, a hoodie, and a blanket on, and I was shaking uncontrollably before dinner. Something's wrong. Like they say, it's just like, I had no fever at the hospital. There's no big deal here. It should just go away, right? Everything's good. Day 25, June 27th, 25 days after the initial surgery. Actually, just before that night, I went to bed early, 8 o'clock, because I wasn't feeling great. So now, day 25 after the surgery, June 27th, wake up at about 2:30 in the morning, use the bathroom. And I get up off the bathroom, and I'm like, there's fluid running down my leg. I'm like, what's going on? I didn't just piss myself, so I turn on the light with my crutch. And there's pus oozing and flowing and going down my leg. I'm like, oh, and I'm grabbing toilet paper, and it's just like, it just won't stop. Like, it's crazy. I'm like, and I'm like, oh, this is bad. I'm like, but maybe that's what needs to come out for the swelling to go down. That's what you tell yourself when you know something's wrong. So I just patched it up, put on fresh boxers. I'm like, I'm just going to go to bed. It's just a bad dream. I'll get up and I'll be fine. I'll be better. All right. Got up about 5 o'clock in the morning in crazy amounts of pain. Freezing cold. My bed's soaked with sweat. I got my wife up. I'm like, we need to have a look at this. There's something wrong here. And she looked, and it's a previously sealed wound with pus coming out of it. She's like, so we took a picture, a video, and I was red from above my hip down past my knee. We sent that video and the pictures to my orthopedic surgeon in Ontario. It was 2 hours ahead of time. Immediately he calls back. He's like, Jason, you got to get to the hospital right now. You have a deep joint infection. You could be septic. Go now. All right. Get the girls up, because for once they weren't up. 6 o'clock in the morning. Drive down there. And previously I could go on one crutch. I was good. I could barely with 2 crutches get in the door. It's 30 feet to the wheelchair. Get checked in. A couple hours before I got in, and I was freezing cold and level 8 for pain. The most pain I've been in through this whole thing. Maybe the most pain I've ever been in my life. Like groaning in pain, shaking cold, waiting to get in. When I got in there, did blood tests, had a look, talked to them about it. They looked at the wound. And the orthopedic surgeon came in, did the same thing. He's like, Jason, you have a deep joint infection and you need emergency surgery right now. 25 days after my original surgery. This is part 1. We'll get into the surgery and things after in part 2.